Welcome back to The Deep Dive, where we take your curiosity, add a stack of sources, and really try to unearth the most fascinating nuggets of knowledge. Today, we're delving into the world of guitar effects, specifically this unassuming little orange box. Just one knob, but it has shaped countless distinctive sounds across rock, funk, and, well, beyond. You've definitely seen it on pedal boards everywhere. You've heard its unmistakable texture on legendary tracks. I mean, it's everywhere. But how much do you really know about the MXR Phase 90? This little rectangular marvel, it's been kind of a secret ingredient for some of the most memorable tones in music history. And its elegant simplicity, it often masks this profound story of design genius. So our mission for this deep dive: uncover its origins, explore the clever engineering behind that unique voice, trace its evolution through the decades, including its surprising collectability, and celebrate the incredible artists who made it a legend. We've got an exhaustive history right here in our sources, and believe me, there's far more to this simple pedal than meets the eye or the foot.
It's truly a masterclass in focused engineering and timeless appeal. So to kick things off, let's look at where this sonic sorcerer first came from. Let's begin by uncovering the origins. Who are the innovators behind MXR and the foundational design of the Phase 90?
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it, how humble the beginnings were for something so, well, revolutionary. The MXR Phase 90 was introduced back in 1974 by MXR Innovations, a company based in Rochester, New York. And it wasn't some massive corporation's lab project or anything. It was the product of a relatively new, innovative outfit just finding its footing.
Right. And who do we actually credit for putting this, truly seminal sound into the hands of musicians?
The design itself, that's credited to Keith Barr and Terry Sherwood. But here's a truly remarkable insight, something you mentioned. It was MXR's very first pedal.
Wow, their first one.
Yeah, their very first. Imagine that your debut product not only launches your company, but becomes one of the most widely recognized effect units in history. I mean, it set a benchmark that, frankly, few others ever reach. It's an incredible testament to their initial vision and execution. They really hit a home run right out of the gate.
That truly is an extraordinary debut.
Yeah.
Were there any particular challenges or surprising factors in them launching such a revolutionary product first time out, especially considering how quickly it caught on?
Well, the market at the time was hungry for new sounds, and the Phase 90 delivered something really fresh. It immediately began shaping the sound of classic rock, funk, fusion, even psychedelic music. Musicians quickly realized it offered this unique texture, a kind of sonic movement that was both deeply musical and incredibly expressive. It wasn't just another effect box. It became, almost overnight, a cornerstone for entire genres.
What I find truly remarkable, especially thinking about its widespread impact, is that the Phase 90 famously has just one knob. One. In an era where some effects were getting pretty complex, how did such a minimalist design manage to achieve such a rich, versatile sound? It feels, almost counterintuitive.
Right. But that single speed knob, it kind of belied the richness of its internal four-stage analog phasing circuit. It's a prime example of elegant engineering, simplicity on the outside, hiding sophisticated design on the inside. And what's truly insightful about that one knob is that it almost forces creativity within this powerful, focused sonic palette. Unlike these complex multi-effects units, the Phase 90 asks players to really master one variable, pushing them to discover its nuances rather than getting lost in, endless options.
That's a great point. Focused simplicity.
Exactly. That focused simplicity in a world of increasing complexity has proven to be this enduring artistic advantage. With just that one knob, it could add everything from a really subtle, almost imperceptible movement, like a gentle waver that just brings your tone to life, to a full-on swirling psychedelic sweep that sounds like the guitar itself is, well, melting.
Okay, let's dig deeper into the core mechanics then. How exactly does this four-stage analog phasing circuit create that unique whoosh we all recognize? What's the fundamental principle at play there?
Right. Yeah, this raises an important question for anyone interested in the science of sound and how these effects are actually made. At its technical foundation, the Phase 90 uses these cascaded all-pass filter stages. Now, without getting too bogged down in the, specifics of filter design, essentially, these filters create a moving notch in the frequency response of your guitar signal.
A moving notch.
Yeah. Imagine like a highway of sound frequencies, right? And these filters are carving a dip in that highway, but crucially, that dip is constantly shifting its position. It's this continuous movement of that spectral notch that gives you that distinctive whoosh or swirl. It's like a sonic wave washing over your tone.
That makes a lot of sense, a moving notch in the highway of sound. I like that.
Yeah.
But how does that movement actually happen? Is it just constant, or is there something controlling its pace?
Good question. That movement is modulated by an LFO that's a low-frequency oscillator.
LFO, right.
Think of it as a kind of hidden hand constantly and rhythmically sweeping that notch back and forth through the frequencies.
A hidden hand.
Yeah, the LFO is literally that electronic machine generating a very slow, cyclical wave, a low frequency that modulates or controls the position of those filters. That's what creates the continuous sweep of the sound. The LFO is basically the engine of the swirl, determining how fast or slow that wave moves.
Gotcha. Did the underlying technology, their components, stay the same over time? Or were there changes inside the circuit as production went on, maybe influencing the sound?
No, it actually evolved, and this is where some of the, nuance comes in for collectors and tone hounds. Early units, what we now often refer to as the script logo versions.
Right, the cursive logo one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those employed discrete FETs, or field effect transistors, in their circuitry. Later versions, the ones with the block logo, they moved to using operational transconductance amplifiers, or OTA-based circuitry.
Okay, so for listeners who might not be electrical engineers like me, what's the fundamental difference in how FETs versus OTAs behave in a circuit like this? And how did that translate into the actual sound difference between script and block?
Sure. Think of discrete FETs, used in those early script versions, as kind of individual, somewhat organic components. Each one has a slightly unique response, which contributes to that warmer, often smoother character people talk about. They allowed a certain harmonic richness and a less aggressive notch, generally speaking.
Okay, smoother, warmer.
Right. OTAs, on the other hand, which you find in the block versions, are more like integrated, streamlined components. They offered greater manufacturing consistency and efficiency, which is good for production, but they inherently produced a slightly different signal interaction, and that often led to that more pronounced mid-range peak and a more aggressive, maybe sharper sweep.
Ah, I see.
So it wasn't just a component swap, it was a subtle shift in the pedal sonic DNA that players definitely noticed and still debate today.
And that single control, that speed knob on the front, what exactly is it adjusting in relation to this LFO and the filter suite?
That knob directly adjusts the rate, the speed of that LFO modulation. It's incredibly intuitive. Turn it down, you get a slow, gentle, almost glacial sweep, creating those long atmospheric whooshes. Crank it up, and you get a fast, warbling, almost vibrato-like effect that can be quite intense and rhythmic. It puts you in direct control of the speed of that swirl.
It really does go against the instinct of many guitarists, myself included sometimes, who crave endless control knobs. But the Phase 90 proves that often constraint breeds creativity.
Absolutely. You learn to wring every bit of magic from that single speed knob.
So what does this all mean for the actual sound we hear, the tonal characteristics that made it so popular? How would you describe the unique voice of the Phase 90?
Well, it produces this warm, organic swirl. Many people describe it as having a liquid quality, a sense of fluidity in the sound. And it's incredibly versatile. It can be subtle, almost chorus-like, just adding a bit of shimmering movement to your clean tone. Or it can be really intense and dramatic, taking your sound into truly psychedelic territory. It truly has a sonic personality all its own, unmistakable once you recognize it.
Right. And I've heard it's particularly effective when combined with a certain kind of sound, like it almost unlocks a new dimension or something.
Absolutely, yeah. It's especially effective when you combine it with distortion or overdrive. That added grit and sustain, it really brings out the texture of the phase, makes the whoosh feel more pronounced, adds a huge amount of character to overdriven riffs and solos. That combination became, well, synonymous with classic rock tones, and it's still heavily used today. A real go-to pairing for countless guitarists.
Okay, so just like great music evolves, so did the Phase 90 itself.
Yeah.
You mentioned people talking about script or block logos, almost like different vintages of a fine wine.
Yeah.
What's the real difference there, and why does it matter so much to musicians and collectors?
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture of how successful products evolve over time, adapting to manufacturing capabilities and market demands, you'll find the Phase 90 has very distinct eras, each with its own sonic nuances and visual identifiers, making them definitely sought-after collector's items now.
Okay, let's start with that first generation, those almost mythical script logo pedals. What's their story?
Right. The script logo era ran from about 1974 to 1977. These original Phase 90s featured that cursive or script MXR logo on the enclosure. Tonally, they're really renowned for a smoother, more subtle phasing, less mid-range emphasis. People often describe it as a more transparent or gentle swirl. And because they were hand-wired, produced in smaller quantities back then, they're now highly collectible. They fetch significant prices among enthusiasts, partly because of their historical significance as the first ones, and partly for that unique sonic fingerprint. They really are pieces of music history.
And then came the block. I imagine this was a significant shift, not just visually, but tonally too, and probably changed the manufacturing process as well.
Exactly. From around 1977 to 1984, we entered the block logo era. The MXR logo switched to that more angular block font, a clear visual distinction. But more importantly, as we discussed with the OTAs, the circuit was altered slightly,
Right.
which produced a more pronounced mid-range peak and consequently a more aggressive and sort of in-your-face phasing sound. This variant remains the most widely recognized classic, defining the sound for many legendary tracks. And while they're generally more affordable than the script versions, block logo originals are still highly valued for that more aggressive tone.
So you had these two distinct sounds, both classic in their own right, both highly sought after. But what happened next? Our sources mentioned some challenges for MXR around that time.
Yeah, after 1984, MXR faced some business challenges and actually went out of production for a short period.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But the story didn't end there, thankfully. In 1987, the musical instrument powerhouse Jim Dunlop acquired the MXR brand. And this acquisition was basically a lifeline. The Phase 90 immediately became a cornerstone of their reissued line, which ensured its survival and continued availability for new generations of players. It was a huge relief for many guitarists, I think.
That must have been great for players who couldn't find or, afford the increasingly rare vintage units. What versions are available now under the Dunlop umbrella?
Yeah.
And how do they compare to the originals?
Yeah, the Dunlop era brought us several key versions, allowing players to access these classic tones without totally breaking the bank. First, there's the M101 Phase 90. That's the standard reissue, faithfully based on that classic block logo circuit. It delivers that aggressive mid-forward swirl. Dunlop's reissues like this have been absolutely crucial in keeping the sound alive and accessible.
Yeah, okay, the standard block sound.
Right. They also released a Script Phase 90 reissue, which is a highly accurate recreation of that early, smoother script tone. That was a huge win for players who preferred the original's more subtle character.
Oh, nice.
Then, in 2004, they introduced the EVH Phase 90, a signature pedal for Eddie Van Halen, of course. This one was ingenious, actually. It included a little push switch to easily select between the script and block voicing.
Oh, clever. Best of both worlds.
Exactly. Truly giving you the best of both worlds in one convenient pedal. And then more recently, in 2016, we saw the Phase 95 Mini, a compact pedal, really small, that astonishingly combines not just script and block voicings, but also elements from their other phasers, the Phase 45 and Phase 100, all packed into one tiny enclosure.
Wow.
Talk about versatility and space-saving innovation. Dunlop has truly kept the legacy alive and accessible, making sure pretty much every player can find their preferred flavor of phaser.
It's one thing to talk about circuitry and logos, but what truly brings the Phase 90 to life is hearing it in action, woven into the fabric of classic songs. When we think about the Phase 90 shaping signature sounds, whose name immediately springs to mind as truly pushing its boundaries.
Yeah, this is where the pedal's impact becomes undeniable. We move from a technical discussion to really celebrating its artistry. You're talking about a roll call of musical innovators who used it to sculpt some truly unforgettable tones across super diverse genres. But when it comes to Phase 90, yeah, one name rises above all others.
You mean Eddie Van Halen, don't you? His association with the Phase 90 is just legendary.
Absolutely, Eddie Van Halen. He used the Phase 90 extensively on groundbreaking tracks like Eruption and Atomic Punk, and throughout the entire revolutionary Van Halen I album. His swirling phaser tone, often cranked to a pretty fast setting, became utterly legendary, instantly recognizable. It was a core component of his distinctive sound that launched, 1,000 imitators. He practically defined how a phaser could be used in hard rock.
He really did make it a signature sound, just pushing the boundaries of what a phaser could do. Who else embraced that swirl for their unique sonic landscapes? Maybe in a different genre.
Well, you have David Gilmour of Pink Floyd. He used the Phase 90 for those incredibly spacious, almost ethereal modulated textures in the late 70s.
Oh, yes. Gilmore?
Yeah, he used it to add this rich depth and a sense of movement to his epic soaring solos, gave them an otherworldly quality that really helped define Pink Floyd's atmospheric sound.
And moving to maybe a more modern, heavier sound,
Yeah.
a more contemporary approach to the effect.
Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age is a prime example there.
Right.
He's known for his modern stoner rock riffs, just drenched in Phase 90 modulation. It gives his sound this thick, almost viscous quality that perfectly complements his heavy, driving guitar work. It really shows how the pedal transcends eras and can be applied to new, heavier contexts.
What about blues players? That seems like a natural fit for its warm character and expressive
Oh,
qualities.
absolutely. The legendary Johnny Winter utilized the Phase 90 for his distinct blues rock textures, added a unique kind of vocal-like character and motion to his blistering guitar work. It proves the pedal isn't just for hard rock or psychedelia, it truly has a soul for the blues as well. Adds a dynamic layer to his playing.
And for something maybe a bit more atmospheric, perhaps even grand beyond the blues.
Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins, he employed the Phase 90 to create those expansive, almost cathedral-like psychedelic layers that define so much of their sound.
Especially in Siamese Dream.
Exactly, particularly on albums like Siamese Dream. He used it to add grandeur and texture to his massive guitar arrangements, building these walls of swirling sound.
The sheer diversity of those artists is incredible. It really highlights how adaptable this single effect truly is across genres and styles. It's mind-blowing to think how many legendary recordings relied on this unassuming little box.
Yeah.
It almost makes you want to go back and listen to all those tracks with a fresh ear, just focusing on that swirl.
Mm.
And that leads us to a crucial point. After nearly 50 years, the MXR Phase 90 isn't just a relic sitting in a museum. It's still being made, still being used on stages and in studios worldwide. How has it managed to maintain such incredible staying power in a market that's just flooded with new and complex effects all the time?
Yeah, this raises an important question, right? How does something so seemingly simple maintain such enduring appeal in a constantly evolving and, let's be honest, often trend-driven market? I think the answer lies in its unparalleled combination of simplicity and effectiveness. It just works, it sounds fantastic, and it does one thing exceptionally well without overcomplicating the user experience. Its core sound is just timeless, and its intuitive nature means any player can quickly dial in a usable musical effect.
Yeah, it feels like in a world of increasingly digital and, multi-effect units with tiny screens and menus, the Phase 90 stands out precisely because of its focused analog nature.
But
What's its status in the contemporary music scene?
That's precisely it. The Phase 90 remains a benchmark. It's often referred to as the gold standard for phasers, and for very good reason.
No.
It truly set the bar.
The gold standard.
Yeah, its original design influenced countless other phaser pedals that came after it, with many aspiring to achieve that liquid organic sweep. Even today, with, advanced digital signal processing capable of virtually any effect imaginable, many players still gravitate towards the Phase 90's warm analog tone for its distinctive character. You'll find it on countless professional and amateur pedal boards. It's a testament to its fundamental, enduring musicality. Its continuous production for almost 5 decades, adapting and evolving while staying true to its core, really cements its status as an undisputed classic.
And so our exploration of this unassuming orange powerhouse, the MXR Phase 90, comes to a close. We've journeyed from Keith Barr and Terry Sherwood's initial design way back in 1974 through the distinct eras of script and block logos to Dunlop's innovative reissues and signature models, all of which have consistently delivered that distinctive swirl. You've seen how its simple one-knob interface belies a sophisticated 4-stage analog circuit, capable of everything from subtle, almost imperceptible movement to full-on psychedelic sonic waves. And we've heard how legends like Eddie Van Halen, David Gilmour, Johnny Winter, Josh Homme, and Billy Corgan made it an indispensable part of their sound, across a remarkably diverse range of genres.
Yeah.
Its simplicity and effectiveness have ensured its continuous production for nearly 50 years, cementing its place as a true classic. An enduring testament to brilliant, focused engineering.
It really makes you appreciate how a singular focused design, without a multitude of features, can achieve such timeless versatility and resonate with so many artists across generations. It truly encapsulates the spirit of the deep dive, finding profound impact in elegant simplicity. It certainly makes you appreciate the genius in designs like the Phase 90 and encourages us all to look for those hidden stories.
Indeed. We encourage you, the listener, to listen to those legendary tracks with a new ear, paying attention to that unmistakable sonic swirl. Maybe even try a Phase 90 for yourself if you get the chance. What other deceptively simple designs, whether in music, technology, or even everyday objects, do you think hold such profound and lasting impact despite their apparent lack of complexity? We'd love for you to explore that question. Until next time, keep digging, keep exploring, and keep those ears open.